And over against marriage, homosexuality advocates one man and one man, or one woman and one woman. And the word one, of course, is a misnomer, because homosexuals are, in general, far more promiscuous than even your ordinary, unbelieving, red-blooded heterosexual. And in general, by the way, all the forms of sexual perversion and more that exist within heterosexual, it's 10 times worse on the whole with the homosexuals, but that's what they'll never tell you at school. Now, being against nature and against marriage, homosexuality is also against the union between Jesus Christ and his church, which marriage symbolizes. Homosexuality is a grotesque parody of marriage and sexual intercourse because it consists of unnatural lusts and perversions, whereas holy matrimony pictures the pure and self-giving love of Jesus Christ for his bride. This is why outrage is an appropriate word, because there has to be outrage with homosexuality, because it is unnatural, a gross violation of even the created order. You don't need the Bible to tell you that sodomy is perverted, because this aversion to homosexuality is naturally implanted by God in the moral consciousness of every human being. And even those whose consciences are seared with a hot iron know it. They know it. All Christians know that it is unnatural, sinful, and an outrage. All non-Christians know it too. And all homosexuals, every last one of them, has that witness in themselves that what they are doing is debased and degraded. And that is why, because they know it to be wrong, that is why they want to silence every voice which testifies the truth to them. Because that's what they're trying to suppress and hold down, and they want no other witness to tell them what they know to be the case. And in our society today, there is a battle which is most definitely in the area of ethics and morality. The homosexual suppresses what he knows to be the case. What he does is debased and unnatural, and instead presents it as virtuous, good, wholesome, an alternative way of life. Contemporary Western society suppresses the truth and pressurizes the citizens, tries to squeeze them into the mold and brainwash them. So the liberal establishment in our day is engaging in a deliberate campaign of social engineering to present homosexuality as acceptable, as normal, as natural, as good. And it is all around us. The media onslaught. If ever you watch the trash, these moral shows about so-and-so, and she has just fallen out with her third husband and her lesbian sisters going out, that sort of stuff. The chat shows, the moral, what does the crowd think, and what does the presenter say? That sort of stuff. The Oprah Winfrey type rubbish that churns out from the tube in the corner. If ever you watch the soaps, there's a homosexual and he's a really nice bloke, and all the rest of it. The media onslaught. Newspapers, magazines, through laws. Just a few decades ago, homosexuality was a criminal offence in the United Kingdom. And everybody, bar a very, very tiny minority, detested it. And now, the social engineering. Give it another few years, and anybody who says, and it's already here, anybody who says it's wrong, they are the ones being shunned and sidelined. The liberal intelligentsia has control over the state education First of all, let's teach it in the universities. Then the high schools will have more and more classes about sexual intercourse, heterosexual. Then promote sodomy. And now, what have we got? The primary schools are being instructed to teach homosexuality as a lawful mode of family. The primary schools, way down to P1. So at your 5-year-old, that's what they're aiming at. Your 5-year-old will be told through books, so look, here's mummy and daddy, and here's daddy and daddy, and that's a good family too. That's a good family too. And so things have changed so far the other way that now homosexuals are a specially protected group, a favoured class in society, protected by hate crimes legislation. And then, of course, more ubiquitous and invasive is the scourge of political correctness. In many places in society and in the workplace, you say, well, homosexuality is sinful and debased. Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that around here. Somebody might hear you. You better watch what you say. That's what the people think. Because they've been programmed, they've been brainwashed. And then it may get with other people more vituperative. Oh, you're a narrow-minded bigot. And that's the worst thing of all to be called. And they are outraged at you. Isaiah speaks of the day when evil is called good and good is called evil. And so when those who call evil evil, they then are attacked and they become the evil, the ostracized, the people to be rejected and shunned. But this evening we're especially focusing on the outrage at Gibeah. And this was an outrage. This was an outrage because of its homosexuality, which is a particularly disgusting and repulsive sin. This is an outrage because of the many aggravations involved in this instance of homosexuality. Grievous aggravations. More on that later. And this is an outrage especially, more so than anything else, because it happened in the church. We don't read of the outrage at Sodom. We read of the outrage at Gibeah, that it happened in the visible church. That was the most terrible thing at all. It's the outrage at Gibeah. Gibeah in Benjamin, Gibeah in Israel, Gibeah in the Old Testament church. An outrage sums up well the final verse of our text, Judges 19 verse 30. It was so that all that saw it said, there was no such deed done, nor seen, from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt unto this day. We've never seen the like. Consider of it. Take advice and speak your minds. We've got to do something about this outrage. And they do too. In Exodus 20, which leads into Judges 20, which leads into Judges 21. Let's consider then the outrage at Gibeah. First, the attempted homosexual gang rape of verses 22 through 25. Second, the heterosexual gang rape, verse 25 and verse 26. And then, the dismembered and posted concubine, 27 through 30. 3 points that are very different from the usual sort of divisions in our sermons. The outrage at Gibeah, the attempted homosexual gang rape, the heterosexual gang rape, and the dismembered and posted concubine. That's gross.